brought Michelle for moral support. My name is Quincy Andrus. In 2006, shortly after Tish moved to the valley, I had a horse cut his leg pretty badly. I asked my neighbor who I should call, and she said, well, there's a new lady vet in town, and I hear she's pretty good. Those of us who are horsemen know that you can assess a veterinarian's skill with horses in the first few minutes. I quickly knew she was competent and knowledgeable. She did a great job with the horse and stayed for a glass of wine. We went riding the next day, and that was the beginning of a long friendship. She didn't have a horse to ride, and when I offered her one of ours, she said, but what if something happens to her? And I said, well, what better place could she be in? I brought her up our bay mare Veda, whom she rode in the mountains and worked cattle in for 7 years. My husband and I only live in the valley part-time, so anytime I came up, Tish and I would get together and ride. Over the years, we became very close and enjoyed each other's company, riding, sharing meals, and conversations. In 2008, Tish told me she had been at the school science fair and briefly met a man she was intrigued with, but he seemed kind of shy. Turns out he was the federal trapper who dropped by her place several times to help her with a skunk problem. She called me one day and she said, I'd like to go to the new Star Wars movie in Wairika, and I'd really like to ask Dennis to go with me. What do you think? And I said, by all means, call him. So she called him, left him a voicemail, and he called her and left her a voicemail. So she called me right after that, and she said, he said he'd like to go to the movies with me. What do you think that means? And I said, I think that means he wants to go to the movies with you. They quickly became inseparable, hiking with their dogs, riding quads, working cattle, camping, and horseback riding. He would go on vet calls with her, and she would go on bear calls with him. My husband married Tish and Dennis at their ranch on September 6, 2008. We should all be so lucky to have found the kind of love that they had. They were a great team. It just didn't last long enough. She was a very private person, and not many people knew how serious her health situation was. She fought her cancer fiercely, withstanding chemotherapies and surgeries that offered us hope, and then turned out not to be successful. She was in charge until the end. Tish earned the respect and affection of so many in this valley, and we will all miss her superior skills and dedication, and I will also miss my dear friend.
For those of you that don't know me, I'm Dennis's oldest son. And, looking through this crowd, I see a lot of folks that I know and a lot of folks that I don't know. First off, I'd like to thank you all for coming here, all the family and friends that traveled here today to celebrate Tish's life with us. And I also wanted to kind of give you an idea of our side of the family. Mark did a good job on his side, so I'll kind of give a brief rundown on ours. Like I said, I'm Hunter. I'm the oldest son, and my wife Stacy, our son Wyatt, and Ella. And then we have my younger brother Levi and his girlfriend Shawnee of Scott Valley. We're from Idaho, so we